We welcome you back to Don Riggs Hurricane Gym on the campus of the Academies at Jonesboro High School for our final semifinal of the 2018 Class 5A state tournament. And this should be a good one. It's the Paragould Lady Rams with a record of 23-5 on the year, the number 2 seed out of the 5A East, taking on Greenwood, the Bulldogs, the top seed out of the 5A West. And there you see the bracket. The winner will move on into the 3 o'clock semifinal tomorrow to take on the Nettleton Lady Raiders. We also should congratulate Siloam Springs. You see that win over Mountain Home. Siloam Springs becomes the first non-5A East team to make the semifinals since 2013. The 5A East had won 43 consecutive state tournament matches against the other conferences until that win for Siloam Springs earlier this afternoon. But there are 2 teams from the East into the Final Four, and Paragould will try to make it 3 if it can knock off Greenwood, the defending 6A state champions. Of course, this 5A classification is newly redesigned with the 16 teams that were in Class 6A combined with the 16 teams that were the largest half of the former Class 5A. So it's a new classification, but the East has dominated the 5A play by name nonetheless. Greenwood will try to wrestle some of that dominance away here tonight. Paragould 23-5 on the year, as we mentioned. Greenwood comes in 28-5-1, and the Bulldogs had the most dominant first-round win of any teams, sweeping Parkview out of the tournament last night at Annie Camp Junior High and allowing only 17 points in the process, winning 25-5, 25-5, and 25-7. Paragould also a straight set winner last night, defeating Lake Hamilton in 3. The Lady Rams have come in winners of 4 straight since a loss to Jonesboro late in the regular season. Greenwood has won 5 straight coming into tonight. 2 heavyweights doing battle. This has been a matchup and a potential matchup that folks have been talking about since the bracket came out. 2 teams among the favorites, and there's only room for one of them in the Final Four. Glad to have you on Tubetown's Facebook page from Ritter Communications. Also, welcome along on 95.3 The Ticket and AM 970 KNEA. So it's interesting. The teams are sitting on opposite benches from what we've seen in the other matches. Greenwood should be the home team as the higher seed, but Paragould is sitting on what has been the home bench for the entire tournament. Nonetheless, Greenwood is the home team, and the Bulldogs will serve first with Anna Johnson doing the honors. We're underway. Nina Schreit receives it. They'll set Zoe Beasley, who's blocked, but Paragould keeps it alive. Battle at the net. Beasley tries it again off the block, dug up on the back row by Greenwood. And there's a kill put down on the left side by Abby Cagle for the match's first point. And Anna Johnson will continue to serve. This is Callie McPherson setting it up for Taylor Beasley, who slams it to the back row. Izzy Davis with the diving attempt, but couldn't get it up in the air, and it's a side out for Paragould with the match, or the set, tied at 1. Greenwood couldn't get much on that one, sort of a running off, but amounts to a hook shot try. For Abby Cagle there, goes wide on the far side out of bounds, and Paragould has its first lead at 2-1. This serve not handled cleanly, but Greenwood will get it back. They'll send a free ball over. Beasley for McPherson. Back to Zoe Beasley in the middle, off the block and down, and Paragould has a 3-1 lead. 3-1 Lady Rams, as we'll see Taylor Beasley the younger of the two Beasley sisters, back to serve. She is a junior. Zoe Beasley, a senior. This one touched over the big block of Paragould. McPherson will get it to Paige Glenn, who's blocked and sent back there. Abby Cagle with the block. She'll check out. They also had Cameron Presley there defensively. And into the lineup to serve now will be Josie Chappell. 3-2 Paragould. McPherson in the middle for Zoe Beasley, and it's blocked, and Paragould can't corral it. We're tied at 3 here in the opening set. Cameron Presley with the kill there for the Bulldogs. Chappell's second serve. Pushed up in the air by Zoe Beasley. She'll get the swing on the left side and puts it off a defender and down. Kill for Zoe Beasley puts Paragould back on top 4-3. And now checking in for the Lady Rams and going to the service line will be Shea Malone. Malone serve. Handled by Greenwood. They just have to touch it over the block. Here's a chance for Paragould, but Taylor Beasley sends it over early. Dug up that time by Malone. Lena Schreit sent it over on 2. Another chance for Greenwood, touched over the block. But Taylor Beasley wisely bumped it over everyone and inside the baseline. The entire Greenwood defense was up around the 10-foot line, and Taylor Beasley saw that and bumped it over everyone's head and down for a point. It's 5-3 Paragould. And there's a big-time hammer off the arm of Cameron Presley for the side out. And Greenwood gets the service back, trailing 5-4. In to serve is Madison Pugh. Get her team down 1 here in the early goings of set number 1. Pugh's serve received by Taylor Beasley. Now here's Malone back for Zoe Beasley off the block. Greenwood keeps it alive. And then just the Bulldogs failed to send it over. Just a miscommunication there for Greenwood and a bit of a free point for Paragould, which gets it back leading 6-4. We see Bella Mora check into the lineup for the Bulldogs. This is Bella Deathridge on the serve for Paragould, and it's an ace for the Lady Rams junior libero. Now a 7-4 Lady Ram lead. Serve handled this time by Greenwood. Here's a chance for Zoe Benton, but it was sent away by Paragould. Now Beasley digs it up, chased down by Schreit. Free ball coming, and Paragould had 2 players. No communication. A collision by 2 Lady Rams, and missed opportunity there. Failed to get a free ball over, and they sort of gift Greenwood that point back to make it 7-5. Schreit receives the serve. They set Jade Stanley, who's into the lineup. Now Schreit on the opposite side is blocked. Chased down by Shea Malone, and then a battle at the net is won by Greenwood. And it's 7-6. The Paragould lead is 1. As Cameron Presley will serve. Big swing by Paragould coming back over. Battle at the net again, sort of controlled by Greenwood. Taylor Beasley has to send it back. A chance for the Bulldogs. Again, they just tried to touch it over the defense. Paragould keeps it alive. Here's Beasley at the 10-foot line. Saved on the back row. This time Greenwood sent it over early, but Callie McPherson sends it back, and Greenwood hits it out of bounds long, and it's a point for Paragould. Side out to the Lady Rams, up 8-6, and here's Shelby Blankenship in to serve. Blankenship's serve was handled by Chappell, and there's a block set up on the left side by Taylor Beasley. Lena Schreit was there with her, and back to a 3-point Lady Ram lead. Blankenship will continue to serve. And that's a service error that hit the net and fell on the Paragould side for a side out. Now for Greenwood, here's Zoe Benton back to serve. It's a 2-point Paragould lead, 9-7 here in the first set. McPherson over to Taylor Beasley. Basically had to send over a free ball. And this is out of bounds down the far sideline. Wide for Greenwood, and it's a point for the Lady Rams. Paragould now on top 10-7. And here's Callie McPherson back to serve. Her serve handled by Izzy Davis. And then off the block and down, there's a kill for Greenwood's Cameron Presley for a quick side out. And now Izzy Davis back to serve. 10-8, the Paragould lead. McPherson in the middle for Taylor Beasley, who puts it down inside the sideline. Quick kill for Taylor Beasley, and the lead now 11-8. Here's Lena Schreit, senior for the Lady Rams, to serve. Little bump set this way. And a net violation charged to Paragould. Zoe Beasley called for the violation. It's a point for Greenwood, now an 11-9 Paragould lead. The Bulldogs send Anna Johnson into the lineup and back to the service line. Blankenship handled the serve. And now another double contact call, or a double contact call after the net violation. So back-to-back violations called against Paragould. And that's brought Greenwood back within a point at 11-10. McPherson for Zoe Beasley. She puts it down beyond the reach of the back row defenders for a kill. It's 12-10 Lady Rams as Jade Stanley checks back into the lineup. Here comes Zoe Beasley on the replay. And a service error for the Lady Rams. Taylor Beasley swung it out wide right. And it goes right back to Greenwood at 12-11 Paragould. Schreit received the serve. McPherson will set up Stanley, and it's going to be long and out of bounds. We're tied at 12. Josie Chappell serving for Greenwood. And that Paige Glenn sort of just reached out sideways in front of Taylor Beasley, who had set up for serve receive. It ends up being an ace that puts Greenwood on top 13-12. Chappell this time, received by Taylor Beasley. McPherson will set Zoe Beasley off the defender and out of bounds. Side out, ties it at 13 as we see Shay Malone back in for Paragould, and she will go back to serve. Malone serve, clears the net. Could have been called double contact almost. It was not, and turns out to be an ace anyway as the serve receive kind of was high up off the arm of Izzy Davis. It looked like he might come up and hit her off the chin, but nonetheless, Greenwood couldn't handle it. Now Paragould back on top 14-13. This one kept alive by Paragould at the 10-foot line. Schreit sends it over. Davis digs it up on the back row. And there's a swinging opportunity for Greenwood's Zoe Benton, but before that could happen, another net violation against Zoe Beasley. And we're tied at 14. Maddie Pugh will handle the service for Greenwood, even at 14 apiece in this tight first set. Exactly what we expected. Beasley off the block and down. Zoe Beasley with the kill for the side out. Now she'll sit down as Bella Deathridge is back into the lineup, and we'll go back to serve for Paragould, back up by one. They come left side, big time finish for Zoe Benton. Smoked it down the sideline for the side out, and she sent this one back with some authority beyond the reach of the Paragould defense. 15-all, Greenwood with the serve off the side out. The serve receive was into the net. Actually, Greenwood may have touched it. Might have helped Paragould a little bit there. Opportunity for the Bulldogs. Blocked, but dug back up by Greenwood. Here's Davis with a bump pass. This one kept alive by the Lady Rams, sent over by McPherson. She's going to be called for a lift. That point puts Greenwood on top 16-15. Here's Cameron Presley to serve. Malone feeds it for Shrite, and it crawls over the net and beyond the reach of Greenwood's defenders, and we're tied at 16. Back and forth. It's been a while since anyone has had more than a 1-point lead in this set. Izzy Davis receives the serve. And there's another kill, this one for Cameron Presley. Actually, Josie Chappell got that kill. Now she'll sit down. And back to serve will be Zoe Benton. 17-16 Greenwood. Serve handled by Blankenship. Now here's Greenwood with a chance to add to the 1-point lead. Blocked by Paragould, kept alive by Benton. Lady Rams now send a free ball over for Greenwood. And that Bulldogs really get away with one there because they had set it to kind of nobody in particular. And now we got a late change of the call. And some confusion. And now it's another change of the call. And it ends up a Greenwood point. So it is 18-16 Greenwood after they changed the call once and then twice. 18-16 Greenwood. Well, for a little bit of a confusing exchange there. Zoe Benton. Serve handled by Blankenship. McPherson swings at it. Dug up on the back row by the Bulldogs. Now Larkin Luke has her shot sent back. Another try for Greenwood. Dug up by Blankenship. Deathridge with an overhead pass for Schride, who sends it back. Here's Izzy Davis with a bump pass into the block. And Paragould sends it back. Taylor Beasley was there with Callie McPherson. They send that shot from Abby Cagle back, and Paragould gets a side out, trailing 18-17. McPherson to serve. And a service error. Third of the set for Paragould. Gives a free point to Greenwood, and this match is too tight for free points. 19-17, Bulldogs back with the serve. Izzy Davis sends it over. Paragould didn't handle it cleanly. And now Reed Fogelman, the Lady Ram head coach, will grab a timeout as Greenwood has taken a 20-17 lead. We'll keep it here during the timeout and let you know that coverage of the 5A State Volleyball Tournament on Tubetown is being brought to you by SSR Insulation, surrounding you in comfort, and by real estate agent J.C. Cox of New Door, a real estate brokerage. Our coverage on 95.3 The Ticket being brought to you exclusively by First National Bank. 20-17, Greenwood with the lead as Paragould grabs a timeout here. As in this set, the way these teams have been going, a 3-point lead feels about like twice that big. It's had exactly what we anticipated so far in this one. Two very good teams going at it. So coming out of the Paragould timeout, Izzy Davis still on the serve for Greenwood. Here's Lena Schreit, dug up by the Bulldogs. Davis, a little bump pass. Chance to swing away for Abby Cagle, and it rolls off the net and out of bounds. Paragould catches a break there on the bounce. Side out for the Lady Rams, trailing 20-18. Here's Lena Schreit to serve. Zoe Beasley back into the lineup. And Taylor Beasley is going to end up catching Greenwood off guard there. The serve receive came all the way over. Beasley hammered it back, and the Bulldogs called for a lift. It's 20-19. Back-to-back points for Paragould out of the timeout. And there's a kill on the left side. Another hammer for Abby Cagle, and the side out makes it 21-19. The Greenwood lead back to 2. And we'll see Anna Johnson back to serve. Here's McPherson. Ahead for Taylor Beasley. Blocked but kept alive by Schreit. Sent over early by Paragould. Chance for Greenwood. Block, and that's out of bounds just beyond the line. Everyone waited to see what direction that flag went. Zoe Beasley there for the block, and it landed just beyond the sideline. And at 22-19, Paragould will grab its second timeout. Earlier today, the host Jonesboro Golden Hurricane swept Greenbrier out of this tournament. To move into the semifinals, they'll take on Siloam Springs. Siloam Springs won the first two sets against Mountain Home. The Bombers came back to win the next two before Siloam Springs gets a 15-6 win in the third set. And in the match just before this one, the Nettleton Lady Raiders sweep Russellville out in straight sets. So Nettleton is into the 3 o'clock semifinal where it will take on the winner of this match. 22-19 Greenwood coming out of the second and final. Paragould timeout here in the first set. Serve received by Schreit. McPherson has to chase it down a little bit. Paige Glenn sends it out wide and right. Matter of fact, that was caught by Jennifer Golden, the Greenwood coach. And it's 23-19. Bulldogs now 2 points away from the opening set. McPherson bumps it ahead for Taylor Beasley, who just has to punch it right at the net. Tough angle. She did well to do that. Zoe Beasley got a block, but Greenwood kept it alive. Now here's Cagle over the block. Paige Lynn digs it up. McPherson sets up Taylor Beasley, who touches it out of the reach of the diving defender. That was Zoe Benton who tried to lay out for it. Side out Paragould. Lady Rams will serve, trailing 23-20. Taylor Beasley to do the serving. There's Cagle on the right side. It sails well out of bounds beyond the baseline. Point for Paragould, and it's 23-21. Lady Rams not finished yet here in the first set. Top spin served by Beasley, handled by Greenwood. And it's going to be a double contact violation called against the Bulldogs. And we're back within a point here, 23-22. And now Coach Jennifer Golden wants to talk it over with a timeout. So third timeout we've seen here in the first set. Paragould with back-to-back points at the biggest possible time. Actually, 3 straight points at the biggest possible time. And they're back within one at 23-22. The Arkansas Activities Association is one of 50 state organizations that belong to the National Federation of State High School Associations. This association formulates policies, game rules, and standards for interschool competition. The schools of Arkansas have adopted these rules on eligibility, which correspond to those recommended by the National Federation. Taylor Beasley back to serve. Her team down one, coming out of the Greenwood called timeout. And Beasley had it crawl over the net. And now a net violation. That's the third net violation called against Zoe Beasley in the set. And it brings up set point for Greenwood. Paragould trying to fight off set point. Greenwood has to send over a free ball, chased down by Schreit. Here's Zoe Beasley, shot inside the baseline, down for the kill, and it is 24-23. So Paragould fights off a set point and will have to fight off another, with Shea Malone going back to serve. Malone serve. Handled by the Bulldogs. They set it up for Zoe Benton, who misses wide down the left sideline, and we're even at 24. So 25 is not enough for these two teams in set number one. Malone, received by Davis. Now they set up Benton again, dug up by Paragould. Callie McPherson blocked, but Taylor Beasley kept it alive. Free ball coming for the Bulldogs. Here's a set by Anna Johnson. Taylor Beasley reached back to keep it alive, but then it was out of the reach of a teammate, and it's another Greenwood set point at 25-24. Paragould fought off 2 set points. And the Lady Rams will have to fight off another here, down 25-24. Malone sets up Zoe Beasley. Blocked and kept alive by Greenwood. Another block kept alive by the Bulldogs. Another block kept alive by Greenwood. This one beyond the reach of the block and just inside the sideline. A set-ending kill for Zoe Benton. And Greenwood takes the first set 26-24 in a thriller here in the opening set of the final quarterfinal here in Jonesboro. We'll step aside for a 2-minute timeout. Back with set 2 after a break. This is 5A state tournament coverage on Tubetown and 95.3 The Ticket.
Welcome to New Door, an agency revolutionizing real estate, where when the best in the real estate sales industry and the best in real estate education join forces, you get one of the most dynamic and educated real estate companies in Arkansas. Here at New Door, we endeavor to find the best homes for your needs. Real estate isn't something we do, it's who we are and what we live. We are New Door, and we are ready to welcome you home. Contact J.C. Cox at 870-761-1798.
It begins with a click. And no matter where you are, you have countless choices at your fingertips. On the road, on your break, even in your own backyard. A world of entertainment is just a click away. Simply go to rittercommunications.com/TV everywhere to get started. Ritter Communications, connecting you to everything that matters.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm home alone. Someone is trying to get in the back door.
Find a safe place like in a closet or under a bed, okay?
Okay.
Be very quiet and don't worry. Your home phone gave me your location.
Hurry.
Help is on the way.
Only a dedicated home phone can quickly pinpoint your address for emergency personnel. Cell phones can't. Keep your loved ones safe for less than 60 cents a day with a home phone from Ritter. Call today or go to rittercommunications.com.
You take a look at the semifinal schedule for tomorrow. We told you the first semi is set at 1 o'clock. Second one needs one more team in it. We're deciding that now. And then tomorrow's winners will meet up Saturday night at 7 in Bank of the Ozarks Arena in Hot Springs. That'll be the 5A final. Whichever of these teams survives this one will be trying to punch their ticket into that final. Paragould will serve to start the second set. Lena Schreit will get us underway. Greenwood a little off on the serve receive, but they get it over without much trouble. Now here's Taylor Beasley. Her first swing of the set kept alive by Izzy Davis. Now Cagle blocked, and Davis there again to keep it alive. Blocked again, and they can't keep that one alive as the sisters Beasley were there to put that one down, and Paragould gets the first point. Paragould block is just so good, but Greenwood has done a good job of keeping it alive when the block comes back on their side. It was a key part of them winning set point in the first set. This one kept alive by Paragould, and they scramble to send a free ball over. Greenwood has a chance. Off the block and down. This time the kill is good for Larkin Luke, and we're even at 1. What else would you expect? As we see Anna Johnson go back to serve.
Anna Johnson to serve.
Johnson serve received by Taylor Beasley. Now they'll set Beasley with a chance to swing off the block, kept up by Greenwood. This is Hannah Watkins who hammers it home on the opposite side for a kill and a 2-1 lead. Now the official on the scores table side wants a word with Paragould coach Reed Fogelman. I'd be lying if I even took a guess at what that conversation was about. It's over and back to action. Callie McPherson goes outside for Zoe Beasley, who sends it down with some steam on it, and a side out evens it up at 2-2. Taylor Beasley back to serve. Clears the net. Greenwood handles it. Off the block, diving, saved there by Schreit. And this time it's off the block and down as Jade Stanley got a touch on it. And Greenwood sent a flying block up there, but it hit the blocker and went down for a 3-2 Paragould lead. And Taylor Beasley sends that one just long. So we've gone 1-1, 2-2, and 3-3 here in the opening moments of set number 2. Josie Chappell will serve it for Greenwood. Schreit receives it. Callie McPherson outside for Beasley to Zoe Beasley at the 10-foot line. Hammers it home off the dig attempt that nearly went in the basket here at Don Riggs Hurricane Gym. Hit the rim and wouldn't stay down. And because of that, Greenwood catches a huge break, because they had no shot to get that ball, but if it hits the basketball goal, it's a replayed point. The baskets here don't raise up. They're on permanent stanchions that are in the concrete floor. And boy, did Greenwood get a break there, because they weren't getting that ball, and it hit the rim and kind of pulls them off the hook momentarily. We go back to 3-3. Beasley tries it again, and that one's not hitting the basket. It's down inside the line, and Paragould back on top 4-3 for the second time. Shea Malone will serve for the Lady Rams. Handled by Izzy Davis. And there's a kill on the right side, put down by Hannah Watkins, who will check out now as we see Maddie Pugh into the lineup and back to serve. 4-4. So this set's now been tied at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Paragould on the serve receive. McPherson at the 10-foot line will send it over. Pugh is able to pop it up for Greenwood. There's one right at Taylor Beasley. She fights off. Blankenship just touches it at the net. Greenwood sends it back over. Here's Malone for Zoe Beasley. She sent it to her left, but kept alive by Greenwood. Off the block, but popped up by Malone. Now it's Zoe Beasley off the fingertips of Pugh on the back row and out of bounds for a kill. Bella Deathridge will serve for Paragould, up 5-4. That one dug up by Shea Malone. Schreit bumps it ahead for Deathridge, who sends a free ball to Greenwood. Set up by Johnson. Malone keeps it alive. Taylor Beasley sends it over on 2. Greenwood have to chase that down a little bit. Here comes a free ball for the Lady Rams. Malone behind her for Lena Schreit, who unloads, but the block keeps it alive for Greenwood. And there's a shot down with authority by Zoe Benton, a big kill on the left side, and we're tied at 5. My goodness, what a match we have had here so far. Tied at every point so far. 5-5 at the moment. Here's Jade Stanley off the block and out of bounds to put Paragould back on top. A betting person would bet on Greenwood to score right here. We have been exchanging side outs. Can somebody score on service and get up by more than a point? Paragould with a block, and it's out of bounds. So nope, there's another side out, and we're even at 6. Zoe Benton got that kill. She'll go back to serve here at 6-all. Jade Stanley outside for Taylor Beasley, who puts it down between defenders. Another side out. It's 7-6 Paragould. Back to serve for the Lady Rams. This is Callie McPherson. And she has a service error, so there's a free side out. Paragould certainly has had more service errors in the match so far than Greenwood has. And in a match so razor thin the margin is, those can definitely hurt you. Schreit blocked, but Dethridge able to keep it alive. Now they'll go to Paige Glenn, who just has to lob it over the block. Chance for Greenwood. Out of bounds, wide left, as Abby Cagle couldn't get it in play, and Paragould's up 8-7 off the side out. Lena Schreit will serve. Again, I really can't remember if there's been a point scored on serve here yet. Now there has, as that block is down for Zoe Beasley, and Paragould finally gets a point on serve to take a 9-7 lead. We've been tied through the first 8 points. Here's Greenwood looking for the side out, and it's served a facial that time. Zoe Benton hammered it home right into the face of Paige Glenn. Anna Johnson will serve. It's 9-8 Paragould. Here's Callie McPherson for Taylor Beasley off the block, kept alive by Benton. Schreit dives to keep it up for Paragould. Paige Glenn will get to swing inside the baseline. So Glenn shakes off the previous point. The sophomore hammers home a kill, and Paragould leads at 10-8. Here's Taylor Beasley to serve. Nicked the net on the way by, but went over. And Greenwood gets the kill anyway, as that one put away by Abby Cagle. She'll sit down now as we see Josie Chappell in the serve. 10-9 Lady Rams. Greenwood serving here. Bulldogs up 1-0 in the match. Took set 1, 26-24. Here's Zoe Beasley, a little bit long of the baseline, and we're tied at 10. So the first point off serve for Greenwood in a long time. Evens is up at 10. 9th tie of the set. Paragould mishandles the serve. It's an ace for Greenwood, and the Bulldogs take the lead 11-10. Chappell to serve again after Paragould ties the shoe. Serve handled by Schreit. Zoe Beasley will lob it up for her sister Taylor to send it back across. There's a block out of bounds, so to give the kill to Zoe Benton off the Paragould block and out of bounds. It's 12-10 Greenwood. Schreit for McPherson. She sets Zoe Beasley, and she's blocked. Big block one-on-one by Hannah Watkins. And it's now a 13-10 Greenwood lead, and Paragould will take a timeout. So Paragould had the lead momentarily, but Greenwood on a scoring run, I believe 4 consecutive points, if not 5. And Paragould grabs a timeout as they feel momentum certainly swinging Greenwood's way. The schools participating in this state tournament match are members of the Arkansas Activities Association, as authorized by their school boards. The administrators of these schools have helped to write the rules and regulations that govern participation of students in competitive activities for the schools that are members of the AAA. So Greenwood on a run right now to open up a 13-10 lead. Reed Fogelman, Paragould's head coach, I think wisely grabbed the timeout right there, because obviously it won't take much to swing the momentum back in this match so far. See if Paragould can respond with a side out. Here's McPherson. Back for Taylor Beasley at the 10-foot line. Dug up by Chappell. And Greenwood sends it over out of the reach. That was Zoe Benton who just kind of pushed it over. She was on the left side. She sent it to Paragould's left side and out of the reach of all the Lady Rams. It's 14-10. Schreit had trouble with the serve. Zoe Beasley keeps it alive, and then Taylor Beasley misses it. So the timeout did not stop the momentum. 2 points in a row for Greenwood, and now all of a sudden, Paragould in a little bit of trouble here, down 15-10. And momentum squarely on the side of the Bulldogs. As Chappell will serve. And that one sails out of bounds. Lena Schreit kind of pulled a matrix move to lean back out of the way of that one, and it goes long for the side out. And Paragould needed that one badly. Shea Malone to serve for the Lady Rams. Greenwood nearly mishandled the serve, but they're able to get it back. Paragould shoots it over. Now here's Benton blocked, and then the block comes back into the face of Josie Chappell, and it'll be a point for Paragould to get within 3 at 15-12. Here's Malone's serve. Received cleanly. Now they set up Benton. It's blocked, and Paragould can't fish the block out of the net. Side out, Greenwood back on top by 4, 16-12, and back to serve. We'll see Maddie Pugh on the service line. Schreit handles it cleanly, up to Malone, back for Zoe Beasley, just wide right. Missed the line, and it's a point for Greenwood, 17-12. Pugh serves it over. Right at the net. Zoe Beasley is blocked as Greenwood had it set up in the middle. Cameron Presley with the block on Zoe Beasley, and it's now an 18-12 Greenwood lead. And a service error as that one goes long on Pugh. We'll give it back to Paragould, trailing 18-13. Bella Deathridge will serve, and Lady Rams need a little bit of a run here. They don't have to get them all back here, but down 5 in the closing stages, they need to get a couple back. At the net. They touch it over the block, but Paragould does a nice job to keep it alive. Here's Greenwood with another try. Set in the middle. Deathridge with a diving save. It gets sent back over. Another block by Paragould. Schreit dives to keep it alive. What a job by Lena Schreit there. Another diving attempt by Deathridge, but finally Greenwood puts it away. Paragould was just on defense that entire point. Scrambling and doing well just to get it back, and finally Greenwood made them pay as Zoe Benton got the kill, and now Reed Fogelman will take her second timeout as it's 19-13 Greenwood. We'll keep it here during the break in the action as we thank you for joining us no matter where we've got you. If it's on Facebook Live from Tubetown Online by Ritter Communications, we welcome you along. And certainly if you're on the air in Northeast Arkansas listening on 95.3 The Ticket, glad to have you for this quarterfinal action here in Jonesboro. As one of these teams tries to take the last spot in tomorrow's semifinal. So here we go out of the timeout. Paragould trying to stem the tide and make some kind of late push here to avoid going down 2-0. Greenwood smells some blood in the water here as they try to close in on a 2-set lead. Deathridge for Malone. In the middle for McPherson. Off the block, Izzy Davis will keep it alive. Now they set up the middle, and it's down on a kill. Greenwood gets the point there by Larkin Luke, and the Bulldogs get to 21st, and they're on top 20-13. Schreit handles the serve. Here's Malone. Back for Jade Stanley. And they're going to call four contacts against Paragould. So it'll be a point for Greenwood. It's 21-13. Lady Rams a little out of sorts right now. Schreit will try to get him back, and she misses well out of bounds left. And it's 22-13, and certainly now things not looking good in this set for Paragould. As Cameron Presley continues to serve. This one put down as it came back over. Callie McPherson finishes it off for the Lady Rams. Side out. Paragould will serve, trailing 22-14. They absolutely must have some points off service here from Shelby Blankenship. Greenwood looking for a side out. Blocked by Beasley, but the Bulldogs do another great job of keeping it alive behind the defense. That second wave has been very good. And now double contact called against Paragould. Or excuse me, against Greenwood. Nope, against Paragould. It's 23-14. Zoe Benton to serve. Callie McPherson sends it backwards to Deathridge, who shoots it over. Greenwood with a chance to move to set point. Popped up on the back row by Blankenship. Here's Lena Schreit off the block. Izzy Davis dives, but two chasing teammates can't get to it. Schreit with the kill. Side out Paragould. They'll serve trailing 23-15. Callie McPherson to serve for the Lady Rams. Here's Greenwood. Cross-court kill is down for the Bulldogs. That one goes to Cameron Presley. And it's set point Bulldogs with Izzy Davis back to serve. Here's Paragould trying to fight off a first set point. Dug up by Greenwood. Chance to close it out now. Kept alive by Blankenship. Here's Paige Glenn. Popping it over, but Greenwood keeps it alive. They'll send a free ball over for Paragould, and Taylor Beasley made the decision to try to send it back, and she shoved it right into the net, and that will do it in set number 2, which had been tied 8 times in the first 10 points. Actually, 9 times in the first 10 points, and then you couldn't tell it by the final score. 25-15 Greenwood to take a 2-0 lead. So Paragould in search of a big comeback. We'll see if the Lady Rams can begin to mount one after a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to coverage of the 5A state tournament on Tubetown and 95.3 The Ticket.
Welcome to New Door, an agency revolutionizing real estate, where when the best in the real estate sales industry and the best in real estate education join forces, you get one of the most dynamic and educated real estate companies in Arkansas. Here at New Door, we endeavor to find the best homes for your needs. Real estate isn't something we do, it's who we are and what we live. We are New Door, and we are ready to welcome you home. Contact J.C. Cox at 870-761-1798.
Satellite TV providers force you to sign a long-term contract, then saddle you with second-rate service and price increases. Ritter delivers TV service with stunning HD channels, plus bundle savings on the area's fastest internet, and a better home phone service with no long-term contracts, backed by our local customer care team. No contracts, no nonsense, just great service. Don't get stuck with a dish. Visit RitterCommunications.com to learn more.
With so many great mega services available from Ritter Communications, it's hard to pick just one. Save a bundle with bundled services. Talk as much as you want, when you want, with unlimited long distance. Get the speed you need with up to 15, 30, 50, and even 100 megabits per second internet. Enjoy online bill pay and protect all your online data and devices with Tech Home and Guardware. With so many choices, options, and savings from Ritter, all you can say is, wow! Mega services, mega savings. That's Mega Ritter.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit RitterBusiness.com today.
Back in Jonesboro, Greenwood with a 2-0 lead. And boy, 25-15 is such a misleading score in that set. They were tied for each of the first 8 points, then tied again at 10-all. But from that point forward, Greenwood just pulled away, outscoring Paragould 15-5 to take the second set and a 2-0 lead. So Paragould will have the long road back if the Lady Rams are going to try to keep this magical season alive. Paragould came in 23-5 on the year, but 4 of Paragould's 5 losses were to Jonesboro. The only other team to defeat the Lady Rams was the national power Briarcrest Christian out of Memphis. Meanwhile, Greenwood 28-5-1, and the only team in the state of Arkansas that's defeated them this year is Fort Smith Southside. So 2 of the best Arkansas has to offer doing battle here, but the Bulldogs have been up to the challenge in each of the first 2 sets. And Greenwood will be on serve to start the third game. Anna Johnson will get us started. Johnson serve handled by Taylor Beasley. They'll set Zoe Beasley off the block. Greenwood will have to send a free ball across for Paragould. Zoe Beasley for McPherson. Back in the middle for Zoe. This one dug up on the sideline by Benton. Now here's a dig on the back row by Blankenship for Paragould. Paige Lynn shoots it over and puts it down in front of the dive in Izzy Davis, and the Lady Rams get the first point in set number 3. You see Jade Stanley check back in for Paragould. Lena Schreit to serve for Paragould. Handled by Greenwood. And then there's a kill on this left side by Cameron Presley to even it up at 1. Josie Chappell will check in. She'll serve for the Bulldogs. Chappell serve, a knuckler handled by Taylor Beasley. Now they'll set Schreit at the 10-foot line, and she sails it long out of bounds. 2-1, Greenwood on top as Chappell will serve again. McPherson just has to pop at it in the air as Stanley had it sent back at the net, but Paragould keeps it alive. Here's a free ball for Greenwood. They set it up at the net, touched over the block, but kept alive by Paragould. Here's Glenn just shooting it back toward the back row for Izzy Davis. Now they set it up in the middle for Presley. And Paragould can't handle it cleanly, and Presley gets the kill. It's a 3-1 Greenwood lead. Paragould needs a good start in this third set in the worst of ways, and after scoring first, Greenwood has come back to rattle off 3 in a row. Here's Zoe Beasley blocked at the net as Presley sends it back. 4 straight points for the Bulldogs, and they lead at 4-1. Chappell again. Handled by Taylor Beasley. She'll hit it on the back row for Izzy Davis. Now there's a block by Zoe Beasley, as that time she won the battle with Cameron Presley. We've seen those two go at it one-on-one each side of the net. Beasley gets that one, and it's a side out back to Paragould, trailing 4-2. Shea Malone to serve it for the Lady Rams. After a check of the scorebook for the lineup. Reed Fogelman takes the opportunity to send a message back to her server. Likewise, Jennifer Golden has a chat with Anna Johnson. She'll relay the message to a couple of teammates. Paragould had gotten off a rotation. Everything's all straight. Now Schreit to serve. It was a sinker that Davis did well to receive for Greenwood. And it's going to be called double contact on Greenwood. It's now 4-3. The Bulldog lead is 1 as Schreit will serve, trying to tie up set number 3. Zoe Beasley, another block. Greenwood keeps it alive. And that one put down in front of Lena Schreit for a kill. Zoe Benton finishes that one. It's 5-3 Greenwood. Maddie Pugh will serve. Taylor Beasley over to McPherson. Here's Zoe Beasley over the block this time and down in front of Pugh. Side out makes it 5-4 Greenwood as now Shea Malone will check in. See Zoe Beasley unload that one, and if you hit it over the block, it's not coming back. That one was not lobbed over the block. It was just sent beyond the reach of the blockers and down in front of the back row defender. So here's Malone with her team down 1. Sink and serve, handled by the Bulldogs. And there's a shot on the far side off the block and down. Give the kill to Cameron Presley, who will go back to serve with her team leading now 6-4. Presley sends it over. Schreit receives it. They set in the middle for Zoe Beasley. Block kept alive by Paragould as they punch it over. Here's Greenwood with a chance to finish it. Just wide down the left sideline for Zoe Benton. And Paragould gets the point to make it 6-5. Bella Deathridge will serve. She sends a knuckler over. Greenwood has to chase down a little bit. They send it back. Schreit lobbed it in the air for Malone. Now here's Stanley. Kept alive by Greenwood. And that one's off the block and out of bounds. A point for Greenwood on the side out. Give the kill to Brooke Jones, who's into the lineup. And here's Zoe Benton back to serve. 7-5 Bulldogs. They lead it 2-0. And there's Taylor Beasley hitting it off the block and out of bounds. You actually had a matchup of the Bulldogs and the team that once upon a time were the Bulldogs. Paragould's mascot before becoming the Rams. Oh gosh, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 years ago. And this one falls in between two Paragould defenders for a Greenwood point. It's 8-6 Bulldogs. They'll have it back on the side out. And that's really been the key, is that Greenwood has done a heck of a job keeping Paragould from scoring off its service. The Rams have had to depend on side outs. It's tough to come from behind on those. This one's sent over for the Bulldogs. Chance to add to a 2-point lead. And it goes beyond the reach of Larkin Luke and hits the court for a Paragould point. It's 8-7. Lady Rams down 1, but serving with Callie McPherson. And that one lands on the line. Greenwood stepped away from it, thinking it was going to go out of bounds, and then it didn't. It's an ace for McPherson, and we're tied at 8. So there's Paragould scoring on serve. That one probably would have gone out of bounds. But Greenwood sends it back. Here's Paragould with a chance. Schreit off the block and a dive and save there by Benton. Greenwood sends it over. Here's Paragould with a chance. Right at the net, McPherson is going to be called for double contact. So it's a side out, and Greenwood back on top, 9-8. As we'll see now, Anna Johnson back to serve. Here's Taylor Beasley off the block, kept alive by Paragould. They shoot a free ball over. Now they have to try to regroup. Greenwood on the attack, and it's off the block and down. There's a kill for Hannah Watkins, and it's a 10-8 Greenwood lead. Paragould looking for a side out. And they are going to have trouble. They will not get this one back over. And I'll predict we're a point away from a timeout. Let's see if Paragould can fight off having to use a timeout here. Schreit over the block, but again, a diving save for Greenwood. They send it back early. Paragould with a chance here. And they don't do anything with it. So now Greenwood on the attack. And it's down the line and good. Actually, check that. It is out of bounds. Just wide, and it is 11-9. So we'll never know if we were a point away from a timeout or not, because Paragould gets its needed side out. Taylor Beasley to serve. Izzy Davis handles it. Up ahead to Anna Johnson, and then that one hammered home by Abby Cagle. Cagle gets the kill. She'll check out as Josie Chappell is back in to serve. 12-9 Greenwood. Bulldogs lead the match 2-0. Trying to move into the semifinals tomorrow to take on the Nettleton Lady Raiders. Schreit just beyond both the sideline and the baseline, out of bounds. It's 13-9. And now it will be a timeout. If we got down 4, you might see Paragould grab a timeout, and that's what they do here at 13-9. Reed Fogelman takes the break. Her team desperately needing something good to happen here, as Greenwood can smell a trip to the Final Four. Again, the Bulldogs won the 6A title a year ago, defeating Jonesboro in the finals. 2 years ago, Jonesboro won the 6A state title. Its 12th volleyball state title in school history. These two old rivals could be on a collision course for a matchup Saturday, but they each have plenty of work to do between now and then. Chappell back to serve. Schreit for Taylor Beasley, who sends it over on the back row for Izzy Davis. Now here's Benton on the kill, and it's 14-9 Greenwood. We're going to see Presley Sharp into the lineup for Paragould. I believe it's our first look at Sharp, the junior defensive specialist. Chappell continues to serve, and this one hit the net and went over. Paragould does well to keep it, and then Zoe Beasley gets the kill for the side out. It's 14-10 as Schreit goes back to serve. And just that quickly, we see Sharp check back out as Jade Stanley's into the lineup. Dive and receive there by Izzy Davis. There's a block by Paragould. They keep it alive. Zoe Beasley gives it back to Schreit, who shoots it over on a top spinner. Greenwood sends a free ball back that's touched a couple of times by Paragould, and Taylor Beasley able to corral it over. And then that one touched over the block and down, just literally a touch by Cameron Presley, who found a soft spot defensively for Paragould, and it's 15-10 Greenwood. Maddie Pugh will serve for the Bulldogs. Received by Taylor Beasley. Over to McPherson, now to Stanley. Kept alive by Benton. Paige Glenn gets a hand on it. Chased down at the bench by McPherson. And why are they calling her out of bounds? She got to the ball. They're saying if you get to the bench, it's out of bounds, but McPherson made contact with the bench after she'd already put the ball back in play, but it's a point for Greenwood nonetheless. Zoe Beasley with a hammer into their left corner for a kill. 16-11 side out as we see Hannah Watkins back in for Greenwood, and we see Shay Malone back to serve for the Lady Rams. Here's Greenwood. Benton down the side and poked out of bounds. Touched by Shay Malone, and no Lady Ram could get to it. It's 17-11. Now a 6-point Greenwood lead. And Paragould is on the ropes right here. Here's Malone outside for McPherson. And they're going to say it was not touched by the block, so it'll be 4 touches against Paragould. And it's 18-11. Yeah, and this is going to be a time where Reed Fogelman grabs their final timeout. Greenwood now 7 points from the match. They've yet again wrestled the momentum away from Paragould. And the Lady Grahams take a timeout. Gives us a chance to let you know that the Arkansas Activities Association, which is sponsoring this state tournament state tournament volleyball match, is a voluntary nonprofit educational association of some 500 junior and senior public and private high schools of Arkansas. The regulations which guide these events are adopted by the schools themselves and determine the type of program they believe the most desirable for high school youth. So Paragould trails by 7, out of timeouts for the rest of this third set, which would be the last of the season if they don't mount a big comeback here. Here's Paragould trying to get the side out. And block back, Zoe Beasley is able to get a hand on it, but no one could get the second touch. It's now 19-11. Here's Cameron Presley on the serve. Zoe Beasley off the block and down for a kill. It's 19-12. Bella Deathridge will go back to serve for the Lady Rams. Paragould needing a scoring run here. They get a chance for a point here as McPherson punches it over. They didn't do much with it. Now Greenwood with a shot. Blocked, but again, they play right behind that block and keep it alive, and then this one's out of bounds. Wide right off the arm of Brooke Jones. And it's 19-13. The Lady Rams get a point. That's really been the key thing, is the job that Greenwood has done playing right behind the front row and keeping those blocks alive. There's a tip that they fight off the net again. Prime example. Now Stanley shoots it back to Izzy Davis. Here come the Bulldogs. Benton off of Deathridge and out of bounds. It's really been the key because Paragould's block is its strong suit. And Greenwood has negated that by their ability to come up and play right behind the front row and keep those blocks alive. Zoe Benton to serve as her team is the first to 20. Taylor Beasley touches this one over the block, and again Greenwood's there. This one dug up by Deathridge. Malone behind her for McPherson, who punches it toward the back row. Running save by by Davis. This one sent out of bounds by Abby Cagle, and it's a point for Paragould. 20-14, the Lady Rams get the serve back, trailing by 6. And this is Presley Sharp to serve. And this one's on the line and down for Greenwood. 21-14 Bulldogs. They'll get it back off the side out as we see Izzy Davis to serve. Greenwood 4 points from the Final Four. Here's Taylor Beasley sending it wide, and it's 22-14. Bulldogs now 3 points away. Presley Sharp gets the serve received. Now at the net, McPherson punched it over, and then Greenwood sent it back early. And they get the kill, and now 2 points away from the match. Here's Taylor Beasley inside the 10-foot line. Dug up by Presley. Greenwood keeps it alive. Benton then sends a smoker. How'd she get that much on that from near the back row? but it's off a Paragould defender, and it's match point for Greenwood. And Paragould's season could be down to its final point. Lady Rams do well just to get the serve back over. Here's Greenwood trying to close it. They go outside. Blocked. Kept alive and sent over. The Lady Rams, McPherson pushes it over. Here's Greenwood with another shot at it. And it's into the net off the arm of Hannah Watkins. Paragould fights off the first match point. And the Lady Rams will serve, trailing 24-15. Callie McPherson on a now or never scoring run needed for the Lady Rams. Deathridge digs it up. McPherson bumps it back into play for Taylor Beasley. Izzy Davis on the back row. Saved in bounds by Presley and into the net. Paragould gets another point. It's 24-16. McPherson back to serve again. Benton on the back row. Popped it up, and there's double contact called against Cameron Presley. It's 24-17, so 3 straight match points saved by Paragould, but there's much work left to be done. A little bit of confusion there on the timing of the serve. Now McPherson gets the okay. Received cleanly by Greenwood. And there's a match-winning kill for Abby Cagle. The final kill of the night and the final kill that Paragould will see served up this season as the Lady Rams fall in straight sets tonight by scores of 26-24, 25-15, and 25-17. Our Final Four is set. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we'll be on Tubetown on Facebook and on 95.3 The Ticket with Jonesboro versus Siloam Springs. And then we're both online and on the air at 3 o'clock with Nettleton taking on Greenwood. So we have 2 teams from the 5A East, 2 teams from the host city taking on the champions of the 5A West and the 3rd seed from the West. So it's an East-West matchup in both semifinals tomorrow here at Don Riggs Hurricane Gym. So we'll see 2 interconference matchups here in our semifinals tomorrow. The winners will play Saturday at 7 in Hot Springs. That'll do it for a full day of volleyball here from Don Riggs Hurricane Gym for our great crew made up of students from local high schools and Arkansas State University, plus the crew at Tubetown. And for Grayson Hall back in the studios of 95.3 The Ticket, I'm Brad Bobo saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for semifinal Thursday here at the 5A State Tournament. So long, everyone.